Hello, everybody. I'm Robert Aducci, and I am streaming on behalf of Ulysses Spila, and we're going to be talking about Torg Eternity today. We just released, I just pressed the button on releasing some content onto the website that points to Drive Through RPG. We just released the Up the Creek 1 hour demo, so you can check that out. It's pay what you want. It has everything you need if you want to learn to start playing Torg. It walks you through it, and we're going to actually walk through that today. What we have, let's pull this up a little bit. So if you look at the website, if you go to ulysses-us.com, you should see it there, and there is an article called "Stay at Home and Play," and we just linked to the Up the Creek Quickstart, which we just made live recently, and this was a Quickstart that Daryl Hayhurst wrote, and he got it together, and we can release it to everybody. We had a previous Quickstart that had been out there a while, so we wanted to do another one for you. We're going to walk through all the details, but you can grab it here. It's pay what you want on Drive Through RPG. We also, one of the things you need for the Quick Start are some possibility tokens. We know a lot of people are playing online, so I created this possibility token right here, and you can just, copy this. I made it using Token Tool. I just grabbed an image off the web and then made this cool little possibility token there. And so you can grab that and you can use it in your favorite virtual tabletop. We also have the drama deck on Drive Through RPG. That is oops, let's see, that's looking a little funky for you. I'm not sure what happened. Hold on, let me fix that. There we go. So the drama deck you can get on Drive Through RPG for pay what you want. If you've got the funds and you want to help us out, that's great. If you don't, we just want you playing the game, so go ahead and grab it. If you're going to be the GM, and it's the PDF of all the cards in the main drama deck. So go and grab that. We've also got a bunch of adventures. These are not new for pay what you want, but I wanted to highlight them, so you can grab them. Some of them include pre-gens, some of them do not. But you could use the pre-gens from the Up the Creek Quick Start. There's also, I didn't put that here, but there's also the day one archetypes from the website. You can go to the download section and they are included there. There's Death of the Mystery Men. I think there are pre-gens in this one, so you can check that out. There is also Runes of the Living Land, and this includes some new perks, a few cities, and new foes to battle in Living Land. So this is like an expansion for the Living Land, which is kind of cool. And then there is the free RPG Day special, so definitely check that out. That's this is an older one, but that's definitely, you can still play with it. There's some pre-gens included in that as well. And then I wanted to highlight the Infiniverse Exchange. There are a lot of pay what you want products or inexpensive products on the Infiniverse Exchange. Let's go actually take a look at that. And so here are the main products for the exchange, and you can sort it. So right now it's sorted as pay what you want for Torg Eternity. So we could go down here to this is the actual section here. So these are all the things that are pay what you want. A lot of it includes what I've already talked about: the Ruins of Living Land, Death of the Mystery Men. But there's also stuff from the actual Infiniverse Exchange here. So you have Rooting Out a Rorsch, which is an adventure, and that's pay what you want. That's an adventure by Mark Malcolm. So go check that out. He's asking 74 cents for it. So if you've got 74 cents, go ahead and throw that down for him. The Reality Choir. Jihi asks, will Infiniverse Exchange ever have a print on demand? That is a good question. I'm not sure about that, but I will see what I can find out about that. There's the Reality Choir. There's another pay what you want adventure, I believe. This one has been out a little while, but it's so it's more more great pay what you want stuff. And this is suggested 750, and it's 160 pages. So it has 4-star rating. So definitely check that out. You want a lot of adventure for Torg. All right, let's get back over. Let's see if there's anything else here. This mission generator, I thought this was really cool. This is also pay what you want. So there's a mission generator. Very cool, very handy. And then there's a player mat, there's an adventure game. So there's a bunch of stuff in here for play what you want. So definitely check that out. And you know, you can play Torg for free right now. So definitely check that stuff out. And next week we'll be releasing more stuff. So each week we'll be talking about and highlighting more content as free or pay what you want. So check it out. Or inexpensive. A few things are inexpensive. So let's talk about Torg and virtual tabletops. There's a video here by GM Matt, and it's a little bit older video. So and I'm not a big Roll20 expert, so it could be a little bit out of date. But he goes through and shows how to export the drama deck. So you know, we're offering that PDF of the drama deck to you. And he goes through and shows you how to export that PDF into images and import them into your favorite virtual tabletop. So with a little work, you can do it yourself. He also goes through, since the video that he makes is specifically for Roll20, he goes through and shows you how to set up a game for Roll20. So you can use that video at the beginning for you know, any virtual tabletop, and then more details for Roll20. For Fantasy Grounds, there is a fan-made extension for Torg Eternity. I have not checked this out, but here it is. It looks like it was updated, so it's here. You click on one more time, and it'll take you to the place, and there you can download it. It's an ext file. You just download it into your extensions folder, and it should boot up. But I've not played with it yet. Maybe that's something I will do another walkthrough like I did for the Dark Eye extension. So that's there for you. Let me get back over to here. And then in Roll20, somebody made, I think that GM Matt has made, fan community character sheet, which you can find on the Roll20 wiki. So there's a link for that. And this character sheet looks real nice. So here's the image for it. So it looks real nice. Very, very clean looking character sheet. All right, so. And then if you don't want to do what I suggested before, where you kind of grab all of the images or crop images out of the PDF for the drama deck, on the marketplace, the Roll20 marketplace, you can pick up the drama deck. That's not showing here, but it is it's $9.99. So if you just want to buy it, you can buy it for $9.99. It's already, I would assume in deck form for you on Roll20. So you can do a little work and get it, because right now we have a pay what you want, or you can get it from Roll20 and be put directly into your game. So definitely check those out. We are going to, as I said, release more content next week. So come back next week, and I'm sure we'll be shouting it out. So let's see. So let's go check out the adventure, this Up the Creek adventure. So we're going to take our time with it. We got about 45 minutes. We're going to take our time with it and kind of read some of it and walk through. Because as I've said in other streams, let's see, Wonder Blue says, FYI, Gigs actually did a lot of work on the Roll20 character sheets. Awesome. Yeah, that's, we really appreciate it. Oh, is this a different one? Oh, that, or you're just posting the user. Yeah, that's great that the community has come together and made a really cool Roll20 sheet. I know that immediately when we did the Fading Suns, Admiral Nelson came up and he already put out a excuse me, he already put out a Roll20 Fading Suns character sheet. So the community there is great. Wonder Blue says, same one. He updated the one GM Matt started. Yeah, that's great. So thanks GM Matt. Thanks Gigs. It's great that you guys are such passionate fans, and we're hoping, in the near future, the real near future, to have some compendium stuff set up for Torg and the Dark Eye, all of our games on Roll20. So let's walk through. So this is the Up the Creek 1 hour demo. So like I said, we're just going to kind of read through it. I assume that this is probably new to most people. A few people have probably played it, but I don't think anybody has seen it outside of Ulisses folks. So this quick start is intended as a 1 hour introduction to the concepts and rules of Torg Eternity. It's designed to walk both the GM and the players through the rules together, adding layers as it goes. This gives a general feel for gameplay, but there are many more character options and realms to explore in the full game. Playing requires a Torg Eternity drama deck. As I said, that's available as pay what you want right now, so you can grab it and use it for your virtual games, or you can print them out if you have, if you want in-person games. But it'd be a lot of cards to print out. So if you want the actual drama deck, that is available on our store, and you can get a physical copy of that. You need at least one D20, 2 or more per player is preferred. There are also physical dice for these. So here's, let's see if you can see it there. This is the D20. I like the colors. It's actually a clear die with red and blue in it, separately, which is cool. And then at least one Torg Eternity bonus dice. If none are available, standard D6 can be used. You would read the 6 face as the infinity symbol instead, the possibility symbol. 2 or more per player is preferred. So here are those. Also, you get 2 of these. You get 2 D20 and 2 of these in the physical dice set, which again you can also buy from our store. And 20 possibility tokens. So you can use any type of counter or token. So if you're playing in person, you can use coins, you can use poker chips. The actual possibility tokens, which I forgot to put on my desk right now, are poker chips. If you look at the stream, you might have seen some coming up. So I use a tool called Token Tool, and I basically just cropped an image that I found of a possibility token and used that and put that on the website for people to download for your games. Or you could just use coins. Like if you have a little coin, you could use these if you have a bunch of them. I know there's those like plastic gems. A lot of people use those. So there's a lot of things you could use. But online, you can go ahead and grab that token. So introduction. Location. Briefing room aboard the USS Theodore Roosevelt. 3 months ago, the world as we knew it changed. Strange bridges descended from the sky in various places around the planet, and where they landed, reality itself bent and changed. Invaders crossed the bridges, and now they're turning Earth into something else, piece by piece. The clash of realities creates storms, and a few special people are changed by the storm. They become heroes, the best version of themselves from this or an alternate reality. You and those seated in this room are some of these people. So, that's kind of what you read out to your players as you sit down, if you're the GM. And I'm just going to call this out. I think I said it before, but this is going to include spoilers. We're going to walk through it as much as we can in the next 40 minutes. So if you are going to be a player, you might want to stop now. All right, so it says, have players select characters from those provided. The back of each character sheet explains who the character is and what they do. Have each player select a name for their character and let them describe who is seated in the briefing room and greet one another. Delay any questions about what stats mean or what the tactics section refers to for now. On each sheet, call everyone's attention to the moment of crisis. This is the exact instant the hero changed from an ordinary person into a storm knight. This happens when a person is faced with danger and makes an active choice to help others. It's a cool picture. One of the characters fighting Gasbog, the monster hunter. So it said, makes an active choice to help others, or to fight to repulse an invading reality. When this happens, raw energy floods into the hero, and they gain the power to bend reality to their own will. In game turns, this means they each get possibility tokens and a hand of destiny cards. So those are the destiny cards are included in the drama deck. Possibility energy. Give each player 3 possibility tokens. They can spend these to avoid damage or boost their dice rolls. Don't explain the specifics of either of these uses yet, but this indicates the amount of power they have to push back against reality. When a player does something that delights everyone at the table, give them another possibility token as a reward. Note, the Realm Runner starts with 4 tokens instead of 3. Destiny cards. Deal each player 4 destiny cards. Each card explains what it does, but may not make sense until the first tests below. Outside of combat, these cards may be played or traded between players, 1 for 1, at any time. For the quick start, leave the following destiny cards out of the deck: Martyr, Flurry, Master Plan, Connection, Idea, Attuned, Glory, Romance, Nemesis, Reality Surge, and Maelstrom. So I like how it walks you through what to do for the players and for the game master, and it kind of tells you, people are gonna have questions, but let's move on in order to, a lot of things are better taught in play than just explaining them, because some concepts are not simple, especially if people have never played an RPG. So but when you see them played out in a game, they're easy to see. So now that you've got your game set up, here's the mission briefing. So, sorry, my dog is whining in the background. Hopefully you can't hear that, but he really wants to go outside. My kids are swimming. So, let's see. G says, just so you know, the drama deck is not showing as pay what you want. Let me go look at that. I thought it was, but let's go check it out. Drama deck on drive-thru. Oh, it's not. Oh, that is a major problem. Yeah, so I will definitely get that put up there as soon as we're done here. I'm not sure why that's not pay what you want. I was almost positive it was already set up that way, but I will definitely check it out. Thank you for letting me know. So Padre says, someone online suggested putting together a stripped down list of 52 destiny cards that can be tied to a deck of playing cards. That's an interesting concept, yeah. So let's get back to the adventure here. The mission briefing. An officer, Captain McDonnell, if asked, briefs the Storm Knights on the mission. Read the following aloud. The Delphi Council has asked us to support a reconnaissance mission into the alien zone that's taken over both coastlines of North America. The Living Land, they're calling it. If we send regular troops into the zone, their weapons malfunction, and some even revert to a primitive mental state. But you Storm Knights aren't as severely affected by alternate reality, so we're depending on you. These invading zones are bordered by the stone monoliths called Stellae. We're studying these Stellae to figure out how we can use them against the invaders. But first, we have to locate them. Your mission is simple, but not necessarily easy. We have a converted tour boat for you to take inland. Get as far as you can up the Columbia River past the ruins of Astoria. There are survivors living there who got word of a stela somewhere inland, maybe a backup of some kind. When you reach the wreckage of Route 433 bridge, go ashore, find that stela, and determine if it's just stone or something else. Don't try to destroy it at this time. We just want its coordinates and a feeling from the Storm Knights on whether it's dangerous or not. Any questions? Potential questions and answers. What can we expect in the Living Land? Conditions are brutal and primitive. Technology much beyond spears and bows doesn't work for ordinary people, at least not for long. And metal rusts at an accelerated rate if left unattended. Most affected humans become ruled by an instinct and savage impulses. The invaders there are lizard men known as Adinos. Oh, and watch out for the dinosaurs. What about survivors in Astoria? They have a walled community built around a house made famous by some movie. Some landmarks resist the change in reality, and around them are pockets of unaltered core earth where people can stay. Astoria has one of these. Is the boat armored? No, but you Storm Knights are. This is a reconnaissance mission, not an assault. And this is just a converted tourist boat meant for transportation and little else. Scene 1. The journey begins. The reality storms around this part of the Pacific are calm for the moment, and no wandering dinosaurs or sea monsters attack during the trip to the bay. As you cross over into the living land, you get goosebumps and feel the crackling energy or reality that only Storm Knights are attuned to. By the way, if you're hearing the music in the background, that is the Torg soundtrack, which you can get on drive-thru or our store. So if you like this music for a little bit of background, definitely check it out. Axioms and world laws. Place the living land axiom tent on the table. Oh, that's a good moment to talk about. So in the Up the Creek product, when you download it, you get 2 PDFs. You get this one, which we're looking at right now, and you also get this. This is a just the extras PDF. So it's got you can print these out, and these are like the monsters. You've got the Gospog and the Adinos, Tyrannosaurus, and a saber-toothed cat, which is actually one of the pets of one of the characters, companion. And then you've got some blips which you can cut out, or you can use like something like Token Tool. I like to use Token Tool. It's a free tool, and it just allows you to kind of cut stuff right out of PDFs to use for tokens for virtual tabletops. So that it's real simple and easy, and free. Here's a boat. And then you have all of the, here is this is the table tent that I was talking about. So, if you print this out, then you can fold it in half, or obviously, again, you can just kind of snip this and use it as an image in your virtual game if you're playing that way. And then here's all the PCs, all the backgrounds. I really love all the way the characters are done the archetypes are done in Torg. I love the tactics section. It tells you kind of how to a little bit how to play your character tactically, so you know what your character can do. Some background information, your moment of crisis, your quote, your description, possible names. I love that it gives a bunch of different ones. And then the advancement track, I love that it kind of shows you as you play this character. If you play it multiple times, you can get it shows you what experience, what to expend your experience are to sort of stay within theme of the character. So that's all of these. I'm not going to go through each of these, but they're here. All right, so let's get back over here. As I said, place the living land axiom tent on the table and point out a few features. Axioms measure what's plentiful in a reality and what's impossible. Magic axiom. The low number means magic doesn't exist here. The only character with any magic is the realm runner, who has a magic potion. Carrying it creates a contradiction, which means he's out of step with the reality and at risk of disconnection. Social axiom. The low number means higher level civilization isn't supported here. Democracy doesn't make sense to people attuned to the realm, but following the strongest hunter and taking what you want does. If any Storm Knight had psionic powers, they would be contradictory here. Padre says, this looks cool. I already have a lot of the additional items, but this might be a fun intro adventure for free RPG today. Yeah, it's basically what it is. It's a quick 1 hour adventure. So, we've been asking people to run games online for things like Con of Champions by Tabletop Events. Origins is coming up, so people are going to want to be running games for that. So please check those things out. And if we would love for you to run games, and we also might be doing a few things of our own online soon. So we want to help you guys run games online to spread your love of Torg around, even though we can't be face to face with people right now. So next is the tech axiom. This is the number most of the Storm Knights present care about. Advanced technology is contradictory here. Each character has an axiom listed for their items. If the number is above 6, the item is a contradiction within the living land. So using it opens the character to the possibility of disconnection. Law of Savagery. When battle rages, things get bloody in the living land. Don't dwell on the exact meaning of this rule until combat starts. See page 6. Law of Life. Wounds heal quickly here, and dead matter decomposes rapidly as well. It's unlikely for this rule to come up during the game, but if it does, see Defeat on page 10. And this is this is 16 pages, so we're already 5 pages through it. So it's a quick adventure for you to read and to learn. If you've never played Torg, as you can see, we're just running through it right now. Law of Wonders. Lost things turn up unexpectedly in the living land, and stone and metal buildings that would normally crumble into rubble tend to remain standing as vine-covered monoliths instead. When Storm Knights visit different realms affected by other realities, these axioms and laws change to reflect what's easy to do here and what's hard. So, I think that's a really cool aspect of Torg, that there's these different cosms, and the game shows you different ways to play. It has different different tropes in each cosm, and the game is altered by those tropes, which is cool. Cosm cards. Deal each player 1 living land cosm card. These cards may be played at any time and often grant the player or all the heroes more possibilities. Some ideas for dealing with specific cosm cards in this adventure may be found on page 13. Decide who's piloting the boat, and let each player position their character around the ship and describe what they're doing. None of the characters have a water vehicle skill, so it doesn't really matter who steers, but only a modern character like the Realm Runner understands how it operates and can operate it without additional contradiction. 1 or more characters is probably keeping a lookout. Good. They all get to roll a test for that shortly. Read aloud or paraphrase the following. Your boat motors past the crumbling ruins of Astoria. A few vine-covered skyscrapers remain standing in the distance. Pterodactyls swoop around them and nest in the upper floors. The rest of the city is nothing but ruins, covered by a thick canopy of jungle. It's as if the city were bombed 100 years ago and nature has reclaimed the remains. Except it happened practically overnight. It's hot, humid in the living land, even though the air at sea was cold and brisk. The jungle trees are massive, and branches stretch all the way across the wide Columbia River to form a dense canopy overhead. Vines dangle down into the river, and an occasional low-hanging branch scrapes along the side of the vessel as it moves upriver. First test. Have each character roll a find test to see if they spot trouble while moving up the river. Have every character roll just to teach how the test works. This is a fundamental game mechanic and comes up often, so take the time to get everyone used to it now. Skill bases. So every character has a find skill found in the 3rd block of skills on the character sheet. The first block is all the combat skills, the second block are interactions, and the third block is everything else. Each skill starts with a base, determined by the appropriate attribute. For find, that's mind. Then there are a number of skill adds that get added to the attribute, usually 1 to 3, to give a total found in the right. To the right. The number to the right is the one that matters, but it's worth breaking down where that number comes from. For example, the Realm Runner has a mind of 8 and +1 add in find for a total base of 9. Now, dice rolls. Roll a d20 and compare the number to the bonus chart at the bottom of each character sheet. The number generated is called bonus and gets added to the base above for a final value. Note that the bonus may be negative. A 1 on the first die always fails. A 10 or 20 is special. Roll another d20 and add the results to the first. A 1 on these extra dice doesn't automatically fail, but another 10 or 20 does generate an extra die roll. Added together, the dice can generate a huge bonus. The chart goes to 60 and beyond. So let's go look at that. So here's our, this is our primitive hunter. Her find is a 6. So here's the bonus chart. So that's what it was talking about. Well, let's continue on. So unskilled tests. Everyone has a find, but for other tests, it may matter if a character has adds in the skill or not. If not, a roll is still possible. Just use the attribute for the base. But without adds, the test is labeled as unskilled. A result of 10 generates another die as usual, but a result of 20 does not. So you don't have as good a chance to get those exploding rolls. Difficulty number. The target difficulty number for any test is 10 unless otherwise specified. If the base plus bonus equals 10 or more, the test is a success. If the result is less than 10, the test failed. Generating a result that's 5 or more than the difficulty number is a good result and may have extra effects. Generating a result of 10 or more beyond the difficulty number is an outstanding result. Thus, for this test, a total of 10 to 14 is a success, a 15 to 19 is a good success, and a 20 plus is outstanding. Bonuses add to bonuses, the bonus chart. Players may wish to play a destiny card at this point to improve their tests. An action or willpower card adds +3 bonus, or a supporter card adds a +3 bonus to someone else's test. Note that the +3 is to the bonus generated, not the result of the dice. Likewise, if a character declared that they were messing around and not paying attention, the GM may apply a penalty, a -2 penalty to the fine test, affecting the end result, but not the die roll. So dice add to dice spending possibilities. If someone rolls poorly, now is a great time to introduce one function of the possibility tokens. Possibility tokens each player has. Spend a token to roll another d20 and add the result to the first one. If this new die roll is less than 10, treat it as a minimum of +10. Instead, if it rolls an actual 10 or a 20, add another die roll as usual. Recheck the bonus chart to get the new number to add to the base, and continue from there. Remember, a bonus like +3 or -2 adds to the final result, never the die rolls. But new dice from 10s, 20s, or possibilities always add together to generate the value from the bonus chart. Failure. Sorry about that. So quiet. Failure. If a character fails this test, they are stymied, a condition that gives them -2 on all tests until the end of their next action. Success, 10 or better. Anyone that generates a total of 10 or more on their fine test sees a logjam of flotsam, decomposing jungle foliage and scattered human bodies washing downriver. The boat easily maneuvers to avoid the larger logs, but the corpses begin to scream and clamber up onto the ship's deck. Combat begins as below, but at least the character is ready. Or good, 15 or better. Just like a success, but the character saw the twitching limbs of the corpses and realized early that they weren't dead bodies. They were Gospog. Gospog are horrifying creatures made by the invaders by planting strange seeds in the bodies of those killed during the invasion. When the Gospog begin to scream, any character with good success or better gets a +2 bonus on the fear test. See below. Outstanding, 20 or better. Like a good success, but the character was on guard enough to warn the boat to maneuver enough away from the bodies that the Gospog take extra time getting aboard. When the encounter starts, see below, if the villains would have acted first, they merely arrive around the ship rather than gaining actions. If a character has an alertness destiny card and wants to spend it, treat it as if someone got an outstanding result. So I like the varied results. Gives good variation for your rolls. First encounter. Gospog lurch onto the boat, trying to bite and rend the flesh of the living. There are 2 Gospog of the first planting for each hero present. The first thing to do is flip the top drama card to set the initiative and any special conditions for the turn. Gospog of the first planting, 2 per Storm Knight. See page 14. So that's just the stats later on. Drama cards. Torg Eternity is played in scenes, and each scene is either standard or dramatic. This is a standard scene, so check whether the heroes act first or the villains do. Note that if anyone gained an outstanding result in the first test, the villains do not get to act if they go first. When the heroes go, each may act in any order desired. Just coordinate with one another. Once everyone has finished acting, the round is complete. Flip over a new drama card for the next round. On the same... So quiet. Sorry, my dog really wants to get outside. On the same line of the card that says which side acts first is a condition that affects the entire side. Here's what each condition means. Step back. If the heroes suffer a setback, vines or Gospog get caught in the propeller and the boat slows down, allowing another 2 Gospog to clamber aboard each villain turn until the jam is cleared. To clear it, a character must move to the back of the boat and make a difficulty number 10 strength test. If the villains suffer a setback, remove 1 Gospog as the vines growing on it get caught in the propeller, and it is pulled in and around into small chunks. Confused, the heroes may not activate destiny cards. They may still earn them and play them into their action pools. Up. The side with an up rolls a die for tests, and then immediately adds another die regardless of the result. That's cool. Fatigue. Each hero immediately suffers 2 shock. If the hero is wearing armor with the fatigued property, she suffers 3 shock instead, or more if the armor lists a large number. Gospog are immune to shock, so a fatigued result doesn't hamper them at all. Inspiration. Each character on the affected side recovers 2 shock. Surge. All the Empress says, I kind of want to be all show us the doggo. He's over there. Actually, he's right down here. If he jumps up, we'll see. But right now, he's interested in what's happening outside. But he's a Belgian Shepherd. He's a Malinois. He's kind of that golden color. Surge. The reality of the living land pushes against Storm Knights, who have contradictory items. Each player rolls a d20. On a 1, a character with a contradiction disconnects. The Realm Runner is carrying items that don't just exceed the living axioms, they exceed his own level. He disconnects on a roll of 1 to 4 so long as he is carrying them. Flurry. Resolve all actions for that side normally, then every character on that side acts again. Nice. Uh-oh. What's happening here? My computer is going real slow. There we go. Fear tests. Before any actions, each hero must make a fear test caused by the inhuman shrieks of the Gospog. Have everyone roll as the drama card is revealed so it isn't forgotten. A fear test is a difficulty number 10 and uses either a willpower, skill, or the spirit attribute as a base. It's not untrained since spirit is one of the choices. If the test fails, the character is stymied, -2 to all tests until the end of his next turn, or if already stymied, is now very stymied, -4. On a success, there's no penalty. Good and outstanding successes have no extra effects here. Approved actions. At the bottom of the card, 1 or 2 of the following are listed. Attack, defend, intimidate, maneuver, taunt, and trick, plus any and any multi-action. If a character attempts the listed action and succeeds, the player draws a new destiny card. Introduce the basics of actions below, and then add the explanation for defend, interactions, intimidate, maneuver, taunt, trick, multi-actions, and the law of savagery only when the relevant approved action comes up for the turn. Along the side are letters A, B, C, and D, or a dilemma, complication, critical problem, and potential setback. Ignore these for now. They aren't used until dramatic skill resolution. See page 10 starts. So this is all stuff having to do with the drama decks. The action pool. Until an encounter begins, there's no limit on trading or playing destiny cards. However, once battle is joined, things get trickier. Cards may only be played or traded for each character's action pool, and that pool starts off empty. At the end of each turn after the character acts, the player may put 1 destiny card down on the table face up into the pool. It may be played immediately or at any time after that. Putting an action card in the action pool isn't playing it, but now it's available to be played or traded. Excuse me. Basic actions. When the heroes or the Gospog act, they have several basic options. Attacks is the most common option and likely, but introduce the concept of interaction attacks when an appropriate one is in the improved action. Maneuver or trick, since Gospog are immune to intimidation and taunt. Moving. Moving isn't an action, but happens on each character's turn along with the action. Each character has a move listed in meters. On the provided map, each square is 2 meters. A character may run 3 times the base number of meters, but suffers a -2 penalty on any test for an action. Attack. An attack is a test like any other. The common skills for attacks are in the top block of the character sheet. Fire combat for guns, melee weapons for hand-to-hand weapons, missile weapons for thrown weapons or bows, and unarmed combat for barehanded attacks. The difficulty number for an attack isn't 10, but rather is based on the target's most appropriate defense. For a ranged attack, fire, combat, and missile weapons, the difficulty number is equal to the target's dodge skill, also listed in the top right of the character sheet. For a hand-to-hand attack, such as melee weapons or unarmed attack, the appropriate defense is based on melee weapons. If the defender is armed or unarmed combat, if the defender is empty-handed. A success deals damage, see page 9. A good success adds 1 bonus die, plus 1 BD to damage, as described in that section. An outstanding success adds 2 bonus die, plus 2 BD. Let's read this real quick. The law of savagery and all-out attacks. If attack is an approved action, describe the multi-out attack special option to players. This option is only available to hand-to-hand attacks, so melee weapons or unarmed combat. The attacker gains plus 4 bonus to hit, but becomes very vulnerable, plus 4 in return. The option is always available, but the law of savagery makes it especially tempting when attack is approved. A hit with a multi-out attack gains an extra bonus die, plus 1 BD from damage, in addition to any other dice granted by a good or outstanding success. Note that villains, even Gospog, take advantage of this option when attack is approved. So defend. A hero may use their turn to defend themselves instead of attacking. Even if the villains go first, roll against the bonus chart to generate a bonus with a minimum result of plus 1, even if the die roll is a 1. That bonus is added to any defense against attacks or interaction attacks for the rest of the round. If defend is an approved action, the player gains a destiny card the first time a foe attempts an attack and misses. Interaction attack. Interactions are the second block of skills listed on the sheet. Intimidation, threatening foes, maneuver, feinting and weaving, taunt, verbal goading, and trick, clever uses of the environment. Interactions function the same way. Pick a target and make a test. The difficulty number for the test is equal to the target's total in the same skill, so trick versus maneuver, or trick versus trick, maneuver versus maneuver, etc. If the attacker succeeds, the target is either stymied, -2 on tests, or vulnerable. All attacks and interactions are +2 against that target, until the end of the next turn. On a good success, the target is very stymied, or very vulnerable, or both stymied and vulnerable. Attacker's choice. An outstanding result is called a player's call. The good effect still applies, plus the player and GM negotiate an additional effect. This might be as potent as a weaker foe fleeing from battle or being taken out by the environment. A stronger foe might not be completely removed by a player's call, but should suffer either a permanent effect or at least losing an action. Gospog are immune to intimidate and taunt, so explain interactions once maneuver or trick are approved as a way to get destiny cards and show off how effective interactions can be. Multi-actions. A Storm Knight may try to do 2 or more different actions on the same turn. For example, tricking one foe and then attacking another. Multi-actions are simultaneous, so the results of an interaction attack don't apply in time to help an attack made at the same time. A -2 penalty applies for every action for each extra attempted. Only one roll is attempted, and the bonus generated applies to each action separately. Don't bother introducing this concept until a player asks to do something that is best expressed as a multi-action, or the approved action is multi-action. Multi-targets. Sorry about that. Similar to multi-actions, an attack or interaction attack may target multiple foes. If the weapon used requires ammunition, it needs at least 1 shot for each target. Every extra target for the attack is a -2 penalty, so attempting to trick 3 Gospog at once is a -4 penalty. Roll once, apply the bonus, then compare the result to each target's defense separately and resolve the effects individually. This is a good concept to introduce during the second round of combat, once players have gotten comfortable with regular attacks and tests. I like how this is walking you through. It seems pretty simple, but gives a lot of options for players to do, and kind of shows, walks you through how to do it slowly. You don't have to introduce multi-targets, you don't have to introduce multi-actions until you need to, which I like. Damage. When hit by an attack, compare the damage of the weapon to the toughness of the target. Armor is already included in the toughness, so players don't need to consider it separately. If damage is 5 or more less than the toughness, the attack has no effect at all. If damage is less than toughness, it deals 1 shock. A character who suffers more shock than the listed limit is knocked out, KO'd, and no longer takes turns. If damage is equal to toughness, the target suffers 2 shock. If damage is 5 or greater than the toughness, the target suffers 2 shock and a wound. Every +5 damage beyond that does another wound and another 2 shock. Wounds. Each wound is a permanent -1 penalty on all tests. When a Storm Knight suffers more than 3 wounds, they are KO'd and must test defeat. See page 10. Villains like Gospog or regular Adinos are KO'd by a single wound. Here's the damage results table. Bonus dice. A good success or better on an attack, the law of savagery, or a character's individual abilities may earn bonus dice for BD for damage. Start with the attack's normal damage, then roll the indicated number of d6, and add the result to the total damage value before comparing to toughness. The possibility symbol means add +5 to damage, and roll another bonus dice. Soaking damage. When a Storm Knight takes a wound, introduce the concept of soaking damage. The other major use of possibilities. The character shifts reality, choosing a version of events where the result of the attack is more favorable. Spend 1 possibility and make a normal DN10 test against the character's reality skill. On a success, the damage from the attack is reduced by 1 wound, and all shock is ignored. A good success reduces the damage by 2 wounds, and outstanding eliminates all damage, regardless of how many wounds it would have caused. Nice, that's cool. Disconnection. An attack with a gun or any other item above Tech 7 is a contradiction to the current reality. A Storm Knight can still do it, but there's a risk. If the first die for the test rolls a 1, the hero disconnects from reality completely. Disconnected characters flicker between different possible versions of themselves. A disconnected character may still act and use destiny cards, but they may not spend possibility tokens, so no adding dice to rolls or soaking damage. Any contradictory items becomes unusable as they phase in and out of existence. That means high-tech weapons attack become impossible for a disconnected character, and modern armor temporarily disappears and provides no protection. At the beginning of a disconnected character's turn, the player rolls a reality skill test against difficulty number 14. If the test succeeds, the Storm Knight immediately reconnects. Equipment returns to normal, and possibility energy may be used once more. If the test fails, the character remains disconnected. If the roll is a 1, the character permanently loses 1 skill add in reality, but reconnects. Ouch. Defeat. If an unlucky Storm Knight suffers more than 3 wounds, he rolls a test to either strength or spirit, whichever is lower. The difficulty number is 10, but the -3 penalty from those wounds applies. The law of life applies as well, which means another d20 is rolled and added to the first. If the test fails, the character is dead. Ouch. On a success, the character is KO'd and permanently loses 1 from any attribute player's choice. He'll awaken still with 3 wounds in time for scene 2. A good result is similar to the success, but the attribute loss is temporary and recovered when the wounds heal. An outstanding result means a character is still KO'd as above, but suffers no attribute loss. That's interesting. So it still gives you some penalties, but you can still be back in the game. It's cool. Unless you're dead, of course. Combined attacks. With so many Gospog, it's likely several will attack the same hero each round. When this occurs, only roll once for the group, but they gain a bonus, a +1 bonus if they 2 are attacking, +2 if 3 are attacking, and +3 if 4 to 6 swarm the same opponent. Friendly fire. Firing a gun or other ranged attack into melee combat is tricky. If the total on the dice for the attack is even, the attack is against the defense of the intended target and proceeds normally. If the total of the roll is odd, the attack is against the defense of another random participant. A character may move out of melee combat at the expense of becoming vulnerable +2, so try to time heroes' actions so friends pull away from the Gospog before someone opens fire on them. Nice. The end of the battle. When the last Gospog is defeated, everyone picks up any cards left in their action pools and returns them to their hands. If a player has more than 4 cards, discard down to 4. This marks the end of the scene, so any player with fewer than 4 cards draws back up to 4. Any shock suffered recovers automatically. Nice. So we are nearing our time of an hour, and we're about to get to scene 2. So let's stop here for now. We'll come back on Friday where I will continue this with scene 2. I'll make sure to get those drama cards up right away as pay what you want, because that's what they should be. Thank you. I can't remember who said Jihi. Thank you for pointing that out. I will make sure that gets fixed right away. And come back Friday at 11 a.m. Also, come back, check us out tomorrow at 2 p.m. We're going to be doing the Ulysses Worlds show again, myself and Tim and a special guest. And we'll see, we'll talk about what we've been doing for the past week. I'm sure we'll talk about this some more, and we'll interview our guest and see what they have to say. So let's, I think that's it for today. Thanks everybody who showed up. Thanks for everybody who chatted in the chat. It's been really interesting kind of learning Torg this way with this quick demo game. And we'll come back for scene 2 and scene 3 on Friday at 11 a.m. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.